my channel, Driven to Insanity. Today's video is why you do not want to be a truck driver, part 3. As I've mentioned in my other videos, how many numerous reasons there is on why you do not want to be a truck driver. And that I've had to make this into a small series. So everyone, this is part 3 of why you do not want to be a truck driver. So, shall we continue? Number 1, you get ripped off by trucking companies. People, this is a reality, and I've seen this with every trucking company. And I mean every one of them, I've seen them rip off the drivers. And so many people would wonder, how can the trucking companies do this? Well, the answer is simple. These trucking companies can do whatever they want to these drivers. That is correct, people. When the federal government deregulated the trucking industry back in the 1980s, under Ronald Reagan, it enabled basically the trucking companies to do whatever they wanted to the drivers. Everything from how they treat them to ripping them off, everything. Now you say, how is trucking deregulated when it is one of the most heavily regulated industries in America? Well, it is deregulated on the things that they can do, and it makes it easier to start a trucking company. But being regulated like logs or inspections and stuff, it is overly regulated there. So that's kind of like a double-edged sword in many ways. But the trucking companies will rip you off. Swift Transportation, the biggest laughing stock in the world, they like to do a nasty little thing, like where you get your truck or trailer washed because of a customer, and Swift will have the driver, they'll put it on their fuel card as a cash advance, and then they will fight with the driver on getting their money back, because they'll list it as the driver got a cash advance. Then what Swift will do is they will charge the shipper for the cost of the truck or trailer wash because the customer required it. But they don't pay the driver back, or they make it almost impossible for the driver to get paid back. The driver constantly has to be hounding them, and then they'll sneak it out of there somewhere else. And so that's one of the things that Swift will do to the drivers. Most of the trucking companies will skim you on your miles. And I've seen differences between actual miles and what they're listing as being over 100 miles at a time. People, that is over an hour and a half worth of travel time that you should be getting paid for, but you're not. Flatbed companies, flatbed drivers do a lot of work, especially out on the flatbed and stuff like that, oversized. But if you look at it, you're not getting paid for that. You are doing that work for free. You're only getting paid by the mile, and then you're not getting paid all your mileage. So you're doing a lot of free labor. For what? You're not getting paid for it. And another thing that flatbed companies will do is they'll say, oh, we're going to pay you for tarping. Okay. They're charging the customer like $250 for you to put a tarp on it. Then they're only paying you $25 completely. I mean, that's absolutely ridiculous. That is straight up ripping people off. And for the companies that do percentage, such as the former NRG Transportation of Wichita Falls, Texas, under Steve Mosier, the same fraudster that stole money from PNS when he was the terminal manager of PNS Wichita Falls Board, they would do a nasty little thing, is they would take and list the freight bill as being a lot smaller and then put a huge fuel surcharge on there. So it comes out the same as what it would normally be, but they pay the driver a lot less. and you would have the shipping paperwork show that the bill was $3,000, and Steve Mosher's regime, with his circus of freaks like Donnie Keir, aka T-Rex Toe Jam, because he's de-evolved into a rodent crawling around a dinosaur's nose, they would tell you $2,000. And at 27%, they're ripping you off of $270 on each load. Which doesn't surprise anyone from a guy that literally stole money to start a company. And then, of course, P&S Transportation caught him, and he got in a bit of trouble over that. Should have been locked up for life. I'm not supporting P&S, the drivers are dumb motherfuckers that can't find other jobs company. But Mosher should have been locked up for life for doing that. But that's a common thing. Or like Western Express, they would refuse to verify over 2 years so they could get away with paying an experienced driver 28 cents a mile. That is absolutely ridiculous. So they have a driver that has 20, 30 years experience and is only getting paid as a 2-year driver. So that's a straight up ripoff. Absolutely straight up ripoff. So people, this is very, very common. You have companies that, especially like container companies, that they'll outright try to keep the driver's paycheck. You know, they'll find little knick-knack things or whatever, nitpick things to take out of your paycheck. You know, little garbage things. And like with the toll roads, sometimes you have to pay for toll roads. And you better be very specific with the companies. Because of the toll roads, they'll take that out of your paycheck too, even though that you're a company driver. And you were told, Swift does this quite a lot, no surprise, that they'll put on your routing, and Swift is very adamant about you following the route, that you gotta take the toll road, and then when you do, they take it out of your paycheck, and they'll specifically tell you when you go in their office area or whatever, oh, you weren't supposed to take the toll. Then why'd you put it on my routing? I mean, come on, seriously. Another thing that they will do is to rip the driver off. They'll charge the customer by hub miles, by actual miles, and then they'll only pay you by a straight line. Melton Truck Lines, you would look at the distance that they listed, and it was easy to tell if you didn't know where that place was. You just follow a straight line at that distance, and that's where they would be. You know, air miles. So they would be paying you by air miles, a straight line there, and that is not the real distance. But that's not how they're charging the customer. And they do this just so they can rip you the driver off. So people, that is a reality. In the trucking industry, you are going to get ripped off by the companies. I have yet to see an honest company out there. So people, that was number one. Number two, poor diet. Just look at the food you have available. Go in the truck stops and see the food you have available. You've got fast food, or in rare occasions still the cafes or Denny's or whatever, but it's mostly fast food. That is what you have available. You have McDonald's. People, you really do not want to eat McDonald's. You know, McDonald's food does not decompose. I mean, think of it. The last Big Mac in Iceland is in a museum because a guy left it in the garage and even the mice wouldn't eat the Big Mac. They ate the paper around it and wouldn't eat the Big Mac. Divers have found McDonald's burgers underwater where even the fish wouldn't touch them. People have dug up McDonald's burgers that's been in trash pits underground. It is loaded with that much preservatives that the food does not decompose, and you're going to eat that? Wendy's, greasy, slimy, cancer cow meat. This is the kind of diet that you're going to have as a truck driver. You'll see little fruit cups and stuff. I wouldn't eat that fruit. You see the chemicals get sprayed on it. No. But this is the health that you have. You can't have normal salads or whatever. I mean, if you're lucky enough to have a refrigerator that works, good luck on that. Thanks to you truck drivers out there putting your bags of shit and bottles of piss in the shopping carts at Walmart, most of them now don't let you there, so good luck on that. You can't go in there and get salad items or spinach leaves or something healthy and good. You know, I mean, that's healthy, good stuff is spinach leaves, tomatoes, the good healthy stuff. No, it's because y'all truck drivers have trashed so many parking lots, run over stuff, put in your human waste. I mean, seriously, that is utterly disgusting. I mean, really, truck drivers out there, you wonder why people don't want you in their places. Well, that would be the reason. You are your own worst enemy, and thanks to your own actions, most of these Walmarts or stuff like that, they don't want you there. They seriously do not want you in their store putting bottles of urine and bags of shit in their shopping carts for them. They're really not interested in taking care of your human waste. So people, poor diet. You just look at some of these truck drivers out there. In fact, it's hard to stay in shape as a truck driver. You see somebody in shape, they're either spending all the time smoking their health away, you know, instead of having something to eat, they're just taking a pack of cigarettes or something, that's their meal. Or they haven't been in this business very long. They're still young, their bodies are still got normal, you know, systems and stuff like that. Their metabolism is still normal, it hasn't slowed way down. And so you see them and the thin ones like that, and they usually have a very high metabolism and are usually very young. But anybody that's been doing this a while, it's the poor diet has taken its toll on you. And so people, that's another reason you do not want to be a truck driver. The horrible, poor diet of a driver is you are getting stuck eating disgusting, nasty fast food. Number 3, disgusting but necessary activities. People, truck drivers are notorious for using urine bottles and shitting in bags. Sad to say, people, this is a necessity. It is a nasty necessity. You are going to have to use them. And thanks to drivers drawing on people's bathroom walls with their own human waste. This gets me. How do you drivers out there even get the idea that you have an artistic ability to draw with shit? I want to know this. How do you figure out that you have some kind of artistic talent of drawing on the wall with your shit? I'm sorry, people, but that is a sheer sign of somebody that is a mental patient. And I'll do this. You go in the truck stops and you see this nasty drawing on there, spitting your snot on the walls, putting your boogers on there. This kind of stuff like that. Pissing on the floor. This is why these places don't want you in their bathrooms. You know, you go to these customers and stuff, all you gotta do is walk in the driver's bathroom, if they even have one. Most of them don't anymore, thanks to your activities. And it's utterly disgusting. You don't even flush the toilet, fill it full of paper towels, especially from people who are from other countries and notorious for doing that. Don't need to go into details which countries, I think that's obvious. But, you know, doing that kind of stuff, it's just disgusting. You know, and that's why you have these nasty necessities of having to shit in bags and piss in balls when you're at these customers, because they don't want you in their bathrooms, because you're drawing on the wall with your shit. I mean, seriously, how fucked up is that? I mean, that is nothing short of disgusting, people. Utterly disgusting that you truck drivers out there had figured out that you can draw on the wall with your shit. And you're going to these truck stops and stuff, and you're seeing this, and then you catch a fungus on your ass, or whatever. I mean, it's just disgusting. I mean, it's utterly nasty. And so because of your activities, now you're having to piss in bottles and shit in bags. And it's your own damn fault. Truck drivers, you are horribly, horribly nasty. I've worked in truck stops, the security. I've seen it. I've caught y'all doing it. And I mean, it's utterly disgusting. It is straight up it is worthy of vomiting all over the place, kind of disgusting. Y'all doing this, and this is why they don't want you in their bathrooms. I mean, it is filthy, throwing your... I don't even want to go into detail. It's just absolutely your activities. You are your own worst enemy. But these having a shit in a bag, piss in a bottle, this is a reality for truck drivers. And when you're trying to drive and stuff, there's very few places you can park thanks to other truck drivers out there. And so, you know, you have to do this method. And you're getting stuck in traffic and you gotta piss, you can't just pull over. You cannot pull over, and with Swift and their beloved You Got a Drive Cam, you pull over to take a leak, and guess what? You got a drive cam. And they want an explanation, is you got a drive cam. What are you doing? You're actually pulling over. You got a drive cam. I had to take a leak. You got a drive cam. You don't know what the fuck you're doing. You got a drive cam. Yep, thank you a lot, Swift. So a lot of times, drivers are having to piss in a bottle while they're driving down the road. You know, you see a driver holding the wheel with one hand and his hand is down there. He's probably using the bathroom, pissing in a bottle while he's driving. And people, this is a disgusting, nasty necessity. I mean, you cannot just pull over or whatever. You can't pull into the gas station like you would with your Volkswagen or your Toyota. You can't do that. Because one, most of the places you can't fit anyway, and two, they don't want you in there. I mean, seriously, it's your own damn fault. And so you have to do these nasty necessities, pissing in bottles and shitting in bags, stuff like that. I mean, that is a disgusting reality of this business. And it is one of the reasons that you do not want to be a truck driver, because of having to degrade yourself to this. It's nothing short of disgusting. And I don't want to go any more on that. It's just horrendous. Number 4, inconsiderate drivers while you are trying to sleep. People, you have to get adequate sleep, and DOT requires that, depending on your state. If you're an interstate driver, you go by state rules. Like in Texas, you have 12 hours that you can drive. You have 15 hours instead of 14 hours for your on duty time and stuff, and you only have to shut down for 8 hours. But on federal, you have 11 hours that you can drive. You have 14 hours when you're going on duty. You have to shut down, and you have to shut down for 10 hours. So you have to get sleep. I mean, it's a nature that is biological to almost every living organism on Earth that is other than a plant. Almost, not every, but almost every living organism that isn't the kingdom Animalia, that you have to get sleep. And so you got drivers, and this is quite common. In fact, it's extremely common, that are very inconsiderate while you are trying to sleep. Talking loud next to your truck. Look, I don't care how fat your favorite lot lizard is. I don't care that you're not wearing women's underwear. Okay? I really don't. And then all this, I'll put the fourth. No, you are special education. When you're next to somebody's truck, they're probably trying to sleep. Keep your voices down. I mean, drivers, seriously, that is absolutely rude. You're sitting there talking about whatever sports team or whatever, you know, I'm not in sports. Not my thing, you know, but keep your voices down next to other people's trucks. There's a Swift local driver there in Merkel, Texas. He'll pick a trailer up, I think, from one that comes over the road or something like that. A sleeper truck comes in. And in the morning, when him and whoever does their little swap out, he is extremely loud and extremely rude and stuff like that. And he runs his big mouth really loud. But we all know Swift drivers most of the time don't have any concept of courtesy. Worst of all is prime. Please remember, I'm Missouri educated. But people, when you're next to people's trucks or whatever, keep your voices down. They're trying to sleep. Okay, they don't care that you go gay at the PA. They don't care about your obsession with Iowa 80 and you got their catalog so you can get their garage prices even when you're not there. Keep your voices down when you are next to other trucks. Somebody is trying to sleep. Some people are very light sleepers. Some of you, it wouldn't matter if World War III was going on, Putin got tired of getting picked on, or whatever, having a little tissy fit because Ukraine's kicking his ass, and so he launched a nuke. Y'all sleep right through it. Keep your damn voices down. I don't care how fat your favorite lot lizard is. I don't care that you go gay at the PA. I don't care that you claim you were special forces when you were special education. Mommy saying you were special doesn't mean you're special forces. Keep your voices down when you're next to other people's trucks. Another thing that is inconsiderate, and you'll see these, Iowa 80 really likes to endorse this. You'll see these drivers with these straight pipes, loud pipes, very loud pipes, horrendously loud. A lot of them will be wide and stuff, but these things are really loud. I call them super trucker pipes because super truckers absolutely love them. Super truckers love these loud pipes because the retard thinks he's driving a Harley Davidson. You're not driving a fucking Harley. Loud pipes save lives on motorcycles but get truckers' lives killed because they keep drivers awake. You are not driving a Harley Davidson. Get your head out of your Iowa 80 truck stop and have some respect for others. You're not driving a fucking Harley. If you want to have wide pipes, put a dampener in it. I knew a female truck driver, she had them really wide pipes. Guess what? That sucker was dead quiet. Because she dampened the sound. She was an awesome person. Unlike you Iowa 80 lot lizard loving freaking tell your buddy that you ain't wearing women's underwear idiots out there with these loud super trucker pipes. You're not driving a fucking Harley Davidson, you're driving a truck. Have respect for others. Okay, that is just straight up rude and ignorant. People have to sleep. They cannot sleep when they hear whoa, 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 my mom's a lot lizard. Whoa, 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 my mom's a lot lizard. No, you're not driving a fucking Harley, idiots. Be considerate of others. Another thing is these loud reefers. Prime drivers on the reefer division absolutely love to put their loud reefer next to other people's sleepers. And I've sprayed a few of them with Hornet spray because they got upset when I told them to leave. When they put the reefer next to my sleeper and I said, hey, what the hell's going on? Well, I should hear it, so should you. Really? Well, I should tarp, so should you. You'll be out there tarping. And I've had them where they've gotten aggressive and I'm like, no, I'm not gonna fuck with you, I'm just gonna spray you. I'm gonna spray you. You get sprayed right in the face, you scream like a little bitch. As soon as that Hornet spray hits your face, oh yeah, it's gonna feel like it's on fire. But people, there's no reason for this. Okay, reefer drivers, park next to other reefers. You see a truck stop and there's lots of empty places, go park next to the other reefers. The flatbed driver out there, he doesn't want to hear your reefer. Okay, have some respect for others. And Prime, we know you idiots do not have respect. Prime is one of the most inconsiderate, ignorant companies out there. Their drivers are certified inconsiderate. I've even had Prime drivers go and tell a customer that I had COVID because they were mad when they found out that I was once in a certain kind of career and, well, they didn't particularly care about that, Have respect for others. Go park your reefer next to other reefers. I know you can park wherever you want in a truck stop. Yes, that's a given. But have respect for others. And Prime drivers, just because you hear it doesn't mean other people need to hear it. You chose to drive that reefer, not anybody else. You made that decision. Have respect for others. I should hear it, so should you. I mean, goddamn, Prime, that's just how fucking ignorant you people are. And then having a tissy fit and go and tell the customer that, oh, well, he got COVID during the COVID pandemic. You know how goddamn ignorant that is, but I shouldn't be surprised with Prime. These loud reefers, these companies, Raider Express, the rolling road hazard, doing 55 miles an hour down the road, got traffic backed up. And of course, when you try to get over Iowa 80, he's got his big hood thinking he's all that good. And people, I'm gonna tell you the reason why I have this saying is at NRG, there actually was a driver. He didn't last very long, only a few hours. Well, he was stressing that he had to have a hood so they know he's good. Then they gave him slanting nose truck and he quit right there. Stupid idiot. Must have been watching too many Iowa 80 commercials. Showing all those idiots with those big hooded trucks, little tiny sleeper, stretched out pulling a reefer. Look like a chihuahua trying to pull a chuck wagon. Looks retarded. If you're driving one of them, your truck looks retarded. Symbolic of yourself. But these loud reefers, there actually was a case where California actually tried to do something good for the truck drivers. They tried to make it where your truck, your APU, and your reefer could not be over a certain decibels in sound. I love the idea. And it's one of the few times that the American Trucking Association, aka Anti-Trucker Association, and OOIDA got together to fight it. Because they wanted these loud reefers. The only thing I can say good about Nasty Ho Navajo was they had quiet reefers. That is the only thing I can say good about Nasty Ho, is they had quiet reefers. But these loud reefers, there's no excuse for this. There really isn't. There's absolutely no excuse to have a reefer that is so goddamn loud, Raider Express, that when your truck's in the parking lot, you can hear it in the subway. There is no excuse whatsoever for this. That is straight up ignorant. Raider Express, how the hell can you do any rating when you're the slowest thing on the road? Speaking of number one, you're one of the leaders at ripping off the drivers. Such a disgusting, nasty company. Your truck should be taken off the road. And people, these loud reefers, they keep you awake. Another thing that is very inconsiderate. APUs, auxiliary power units. What this thing is, it's a generator on the side of the truck so you don't have to idle the truck. People, this thing sounds like a running lawnmower under your bed. It sounds like a running lawnmower, and Walmart has really loud APUs on their trucks. Thankfully, the Walmart drivers will park at the Walmarts and stuff like that most of the time. They will be parked at the Walmarts. And this was another item that was brought up in the lawsuit with California trying to quieten those things down. People, that thing is horrendously loud. It sounds like a running lawnmower. There is no reason for this. How are you supposed to sleep when you have, or somebody else nearby you, FedEx is real bad about putting this next to other people's trucks, and the exhaust goes under their truck and it comes up and they get carbon monoxide poisoning. But how are you supposed to sleep when you got something that sounds like a running lawnmower in your bed? I mean, really, seriously, people? These things, these APUs, they're a great idea, but seriously, they need to put a muffler on the damn things. How do you sleep when you got literally sounds like a running lawnmower in your bed? I mean, that's just ignorant. And if you're the driver that's got an APU, park next to that reefer or something. Other people, they can't sleep when they got, your exhaust coming up into their cab and making them sick, and there's that loud noise. I mean, it's inconsiderate of other drivers. It's inconsiderate of this business. I mean, you're supposed to get adequate sleep, but how can you, with all this racket from Iowa 80 running his big mouth near the people's trucks to some retard in the super trucker pipes because he thinks he's driving a Harley, and Raider Express keeping you awake with loud reefers. I mean, how? I mean, seriously. So, people, that is number 4, is on why you do not want to be a truck driver. Part 3 is inconsiderate drivers. Number 5, according to stress. People, the stress in this business is a reality. And due to, number 2, poor diet, how the trucking companies treat you, how traffic treats you, everybody treats you. You as a driver under a lot of stress. Stress is called the silent killer for a reason. That stress can and likely will lead to a heart attack. Heart attacks are the leading cause of death amongst truck drivers. The stress is just completely abnormal. It's just utterly abnormal. You stay angry all the time. I hate this business with a passion. I've got college, but now I can't use it because of events that happen that I will not list. I try to get further education in other courses, but I lost all my military benefits after refusing to take the vaccine. I lost all my military benefits after I refused to take the vaccine. I've passed every test the colleges have thrown at me. I've even passed the test to get into Texas Tech in the medical field, aced that test, the test to go to school to become a doctor, but I couldn't get transferred out to that area or whatever. Death sciences in Amarillo and stuff. I've tried to get out of this business, and I literally am, I would dare say, about 2 years from being out of this business. I won't say in what. I will say that it's definitely not related to this business. I can't wait. I've worked as security, but how do you make a living at $6.75 an hour? You can't make a living on that. But the stress in this business, the stress is what gets you. And a heart attack is a reality. I know I've had 2 of them. I've had 2 heart attacks in this business because of stress. It is reality. And for those that's never experienced a heart attack, the pain is extreme. It feels like somebody is running a railroad spike through your chest. It hurts horrendously. A heart attack in this business, people, is a reality. And so I've taken means to reduce the amount of stress. In fact, I do a lot of things that reduce the stress. And it's a lot of times it's easier said than done, but I always sound angry in my videos and stuff like that. It's because I am angry at this business. I'm angry at what this has become. When I started in this business many years ago, the business was actually a lot of fun. We had fun. It was a fun business. There were a lot of things that we did were fun. We'd go hiking and stuff, whatever. But this was when you could do this kind of stuff. When we had fun being drivers, you on the road chatting with your homeboys or whatever, you park alongside the road, go touring or whatever like that, go walking, go touring. That stuff, that was what made it fun when I first started in this business. We actually had fun. The business sucked, but we still had fun. You'd go someplace and there'd be like, you'd be in Houston or whatever, you'd go see the battleship Texas. Of course, it's in dry dock right now, they're giving it a new home. Beaumont just said no. The San Jacinto Monument of the Texas Revolution, in my wonderful state of Texas, which I do love Texas. It is my home. The only time I plan to leave Texas is when they put my ashes in the sea. I'm not in a hurry for that date, but not too worried about it when they put me back in the Atlantic. My true home, the Atlantic Ocean. But there's a lot of things to see in Texas. There's some beautiful places to go hiking. If you're in the Lubbock area between Lubbock and Amarillo, there's Paladuro Canyon. Absolutely love that place. I tell you this, I could spend every day of my life in Paladuro Canyon. That's just the honest truth. I absolutely I love to hike. Stuff like that, it's good for your stress. It's great for your spirit, great for your soul. But we can't do this stuff anymore as drivers. And it's the dystopianness of this business, as mentioned in previous video, is the reason why. We used to be able to go hiking. We used to be able to go see, the big meteor crater in Arizona, or you're up in Canada, you go hiking in the mountains, or fun stuff. You're up in Colorado, you pull off on the side, and you go hiking, go fishing or whatever. You get a non-resident fishing license in Wyoming to go check out the wonderful fly fishing. Tell you this, there's some seriously great fly fishing in Wyoming. It is no joke. If you ain't done it, dude, you are missing out on something. Seriously, you park and rest area. Colorado, got your flagpole, got your non-resident fishing license, and hey, let it fly, let it fly. Might end up with some nice rainbow trout or something delicious like that come out of the stream, really good for you. But they took all this away from us. This dystopian lifestyle has taken all this away from us. All this great stress relief is now gone because of the horrendous dystopian lifestyle. We can't go hiking or whatever. You carry a bicycle on the back of your truck, which was really great for your health. You're laid over somewhere, you got a little time to spare, you go riding around, check out the scenery. There's a lot to see in this country. There's a lot of beautiful sights out there. And it can be a hike away or a bicycle away, but they've taken that away from us in this dystopian, micromanaged lifestyle. You can't do that anymore. I have so many fond memories of hiking, fishing in Wyoming, going into Canada, and up in the Crow's Nest Mountains, sneak up on a moose. You better find a big tree nearby, you're gonna be up it if he don't like you. All the fun stuff, go hiking in a snowstorm. But the fun part is trying to get back. We had fun back, before it became horribly dystopian. We had fun as drivers. We had a lot of fun. You'd be on the radio cruising across Slow Ohio, because they had trucks of 55, so we called it Slow Ohio. We'd be chatting with a state cop who's just riding along because he's bored. He's just trying to get a shift done. He's just, shooting the breeze. Half the stuff you're saying lies, but he doesn't care. But we had fun. And now this dystopian lifestyle has created such horrendous stress. I think I stayed in this business, a lot of it because it's hard to get out of. I've mentioned that in another video, but when I first came in this business, we really did have fun. There was a guy I knew who carried a kayak on the bottom of his trailer. Guess what his favorite thing to do was? And guess what he can't do anymore, And the stress is what gets you, people. The stress is what is horrendous in this business. Just talk to any truck driver. If he ain't telling you he's special forces or telling you how big his hood is and he's the biggest lot lizard chasing idiot. Where do I get this? Just listen to the drivers in the driver's lounge. And also, I seen a truck one time that had #1 lot lizard lover on the front of his truck. It's like, that's not something I'd be proud to advertise. Of course, you really don't see the lot lizards anymore. They've gone online, and yes, these guys will tell you where they're at. They'll tell you the websites. Why are you paying for something that this lady can't even give away? Seriously, people, you got to pay for it. You need another game. But stress is what gets you, and it's gotten worse because of the dystopian life. We had fun. We had a lot of fun in this business. You go hiking, whatever. You got some of your homeboys with you, or whatever. Homegirls with you. Some of the guys carried a wife with them. There was one lady. I kept telling her name was Melissa. I'm like, Melissa, you see a baby bear, you get the hell out of the neighborhood. And she seen these baby bears, better go take a picture of it. I'm like, girl, you better get away. Because if you look over your shoulder, mama's not far away. You see a baby bear, they ain't cute, they're deadly. Mama's like a tank, and you ain't gonna stop that tank. You see a baby bear, don't get in the neighborhood. Slowly back away in the opposite direction. Don't run, they will catch you. You ain't got a chance against any kind of a bear in this country. Don't fool yourself. I don't care how big of a badass you think you are. A bear jump your ass, your food, you're done. I don't care how badass you think you are, you ain't. A bear jump your ass, yeah, you're dead. Good luck to you. But the stress, people, is one of the reasons you do not want to be a driver. The stress has just gotten worse with this dystopianness in this business. And so, people, these are 5 reasons you do not want to be a truck driver. Part 3. And seriously, with like the stress, take up a hobby or something. There's a lot of hobbies that you can do in your truck. There's a lot of hobbies you can do other than sitting there watching TV or whatever. You play video games. World of Warcraft, when it was actually a decent game, was great stressful. You can take it out on there. There's all sorts of things that you can do to relieve stress. But the stress in this business, anger at other drivers, anger at the dispatch because they treat you as subhuman garbage because they don't have a soul. trucking companies especially the executives don't have souls. We all know that. The stress is horrible and everything, but there are things you can do to reduce stress. You can't get rid of it. That's just a fact of life, But these are the 5 reasons you do not want to be a truck driver, people. Drive safe, be considerate of others, and super truckers, you're not driving a fucking Harley Davidson. Get a life. And trucking companies, your drivers are human. Everyone, have a nice day.